welcome back for more actionable sales content from Cognism, the premium B2B data provider. In this video, I'm going to run through the 10 most common mistakes you can make when prospecting for new clients, and not only that, I'll give you tips on how to avoid them. So keep watching and I promise to improve your sales prospecting strategy in just 10 minutes. When it comes to prospecting, every sales rep out there has made a mistake or two, from targeting the wrong customer to poorly constructed messaging. All sorts of things can happen to throw an SDR off base, but best reps know that it doesn't matter if mistakes are made, it's how you deal with them that counts. And this is where the video is going to come in handy. So I asked Cognism's SDRs for their top 10 prospecting mistakes that they have made, as well as the steps they would take to avoid them. So this kind of info will be really helpful for you to become a better salesperson. There's no time like the present, so let's get started. First things first, before you start anything else in sales prospecting, you need to define your ideal customer profile. And ICP tells you who will benefit the most from your product and who's most likely to buy it. So what happens if you don't have this intel at your fingertips? Well, you'll be wasting your time prospecting to people who aren't interested in buying from you. And honestly, what sales rep wants that? So who is your ideal customer? There are a couple of questions you can ask yourself to get started. Where are they located? What industry are they in? What is the company size? What is their budget? What technology do they use day to day? What are their business goals? And what pain points are they struggling with? The answers to those questions will make up your ICP, a document you can refer to again and again when you prospect for new business. And remember, the more detailed your ICP, the better targeted your prospecting will be. Number 2, not researching your leads. I'm going to ask you a question, and a word of warning, you may be shocked to hear the answer, but what happens when you don't research your leads? You lose out on sales. So how can this be? Because you don't know enough about your prospect. You'll find it difficult to engage with them and build rapport. Also, how embarrassing would it be if you called a prospect and you had the wrong information? To avoid this, you should research your leads before you pick up the phone or send them a message. Start by checking out the prospect on LinkedIn. Make sure you know their business and their role, then browse over to their company website. If they have a blog or a news section, take a look at it. Have they announced anything big recently, like a new product launch or funding round? Things like that can help a lot when you do reach out. Number 3, not knowing your goals. This was a very important point from Cognism's SDRs. Before you start prospecting, you need to define your goals. A goal is something tangible that you can work towards and manage your time around. Your goals can also change week on week. For example, one week, your goal could be to book a specific number of meetings. Next week, it could be to simply start a load of new conversations. A word of advice from Cognism sales though, set yourself semi-unrealistic goals. Even if you only hit 70% of them, you'll still be doing better than most other SDRs. Number 4, not knowing your product. Here's another question for you. What's more embarrassing than cold calling your prospect by the wrong name? Not knowing your own product. The best sales reps aren't just talented salespeople, they also know the product inside out. A lot of the times, SDRs have to act as consultants, educating prospects on their product's value. Here are some product selling tips from Cognism's SDRs. Give the prospect a brief overview of your product or service. Focus on benefits, not features. Memorize 3 facts that show how your product can help them. Don't overwhelm the prospect with detail. Keep it short and snappy. Don't be too technical. Use common, simple, understandable language. And make sure you change the way you sell your product depending on who you're talking to. What works for one persona may not work for another. Number 5, not focusing on pain points. This is something you definitely need to avoid. If you don't know your prospect's pain points, you will never be able to pitch your product as the solution. And what's the best way of uncovering pain points? It's easy. Asking questions. Open-ended questions are the best because they encourage the prospects to speak up and divulge information. Here are some that Cognism's SDRs often use. What's the biggest challenge your team/company is currently facing? What takes up the most time in your day? What does your manager care about? What's prevented you from solving this problem in the past? How do you think a new product would solve your problem? And what's your timeline for getting this problem fixed? Number 6, not crafting compelling emails. Now, I know sales prospecting isn't about creating literary works of art, but that said, if you want to create emails that convert, you do need to invest some time in learning copywriting skills. To help out, here are some basic email writing tips from Cognism Sales. Keep the word count low. Studies have shown that the shorter the email, the higher the response rate. Make sure they're personalized, including the prospect's name and their company name can increase conversions by up to 20%. Make the sentences and paragraphs easy to read. If they're too long-winded, your email will be sent straight to the trash folder. Include facts and statistics. They quickly demonstrate your product's value. And include a clear and simple CTA. Guide your prospect to one simple outcome. Are they free for a meeting? Number 7, not knowing when to engage. Getting the timing right is probably the most important part of sales prospecting. It can make all the difference between winning and losing. The best way of knowing when to engage is to take advantage of sales triggers. So what are sales triggers? They are defined as any event that creates an opening for a sale. So when you've identified a target industry or account, you'll want to keep an eye on the following. When a prospect is promoted or moves to a new company, when a company secures a new round of funding, when a company is acquired or merges with another, and when a prospect or their company wins a major industry award. Number 8, not building your personal brand. Building a personal brand is a really underrated prospecting tactic. If you set up a great profile on LinkedIn and engage with your connections, you boost your reputation as a salesperson to be trusted. And when prospects see that, they'll want to hear what you have to say. Plus, they'll go on to recommend you to others too, even if they've never done business with you. If you want to learn more about personal branding, then check out this masterclass from my colleague, Greg Robertson. I'll put a link in the comments for you. Number 9, not being creative. Creativity might not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think sales prospecting, but trust me, the best salespeople are those who think outside the box and look for innovative ways to engage. So why is that so? Because prospects are tired of receiving the same old formula for emails and cold calls. When you get creative, you stand out. At Cognism, our sales team has found success through things like LinkedIn voice notes and video messages. They show personalization and effort, and there is nothing that prospects appreciate more. Number 10, not analyzing your results. Whenever you interact with a client, take a step back and ask yourself, what went right and what went wrong? Note down your successes and your failures after each call. Doing this means you'll be free to shelf the tactics that aren't working for you and double down on those that are. Here is a final tip from Cognism Sales. A/B test your cold calling scripts and email copy. So try out one version of a cold calling script for 1 week and then a different version for the next. Which one performed better? Once you discover what certain clients like and don't like, you'll be able to be one step closer to becoming a prospecting pro. So there you have it, Cognism's top 10 sales prospecting mistakes and how to avoid them. So what do you think of our list? Are there any common mistakes that we've missed, or perhaps you'll go about solving our mistakes in a different way? Leave a comment below and I'll see if I can include them in a future video. Next time, I'll be answering the question inbound versus outbound. So what's the best for B2B lead generation? So in the meantime, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Cognism's YouTube channel. Bye for now.